We'll take you live now to Adelaide. Here's the Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, with an update.
I also want to thank publicly my counterparts in Egypt, Qatar, Israel and the United States who've been so critical to brokering these arrangements. I would say to you, this is really good progress and we're very grateful and relieved this has occurred, but there's a lot more to be done. There are still Australians in Gaza, Australians, permanent residents and their families. I know how distressing this situation is for them and for their next of kin. Please be assured we will continue to press for all of you to cross the border out of Gaza. We will continue to do what we've been doing for the last few weeks, which is to engage with all that we can to ensure safe passage. I would say in the situation in the Middle East, I again reiterate Australia's call for humanitarian pauses on hostilities. We want humanitarian supplies of food, water, medicine, fuel to reach people in desperate need. The people of Gaza cannot wait. I've said that in affirming our view that Israel has a right to defend itself, Israel's friends, including Australia, have emphasised that the way Israel does that matters. We know that Hamas is a craven terrorist group. We know that it has burrowed itself into civilian infrastructure. We know that it is using civilians as a shield. We know that terrorism must be confronted. What I would say is all of these challenges do not lessen Israel's obligation to observe international law and the rules of war. Even in war, there are rules. And I again would make this point. The international community will not accept ongoing civilian deaths. So when Israel's friends urge Israel to exercise restraint, when Israel's friends urge Israel to protect civilian lives, it is critical that Israel listens. It matters for Israel's own security, which faces grave risks if the conflict spreads. Happy to take questions.
So has the Australian government been given any indication on when the remaining Australians will be allowed to leave Gaza?
But just to give you some sense of the dimensions of this challenge, there are thousands of foreign nationals in Gaza. Thousands. I think around 350 were permitted passage finally overnight, and obviously 20 Australians plus the additional 3 were on that first list. And again, we are very grateful and relieved for that. But there are a lot more foreign nationals to get out. We hope that the parties who have brokered this arrangement can continue to assure passage for civilians out of Gaza. We'll continue to do what we can to press for that. Obviously, as I said, the numbers are substantial, but I can assure Australians and all of the Australians who are worried about those relatives, friends in Gaza that we will continue to press for Australians to have safe passage out.
There's one specific case of interest overnight, and that was a man who is an Australian passport holder and was offered exit but refused because his wife was refused. She's a Palestinian passport holder. Is there anything being done to help them?
Well, one of the reasons, which is why I wanted to break the numbers up into different categories, you've heard me talk about in excess of 80 Australians, is we were including Australian citizens, permanent residents and visa holders and their families, because we're very conscious of people in this sort of situation.
So are you helping that?
I assume he is registered with us and we are in contact with as much as we are able to. Obviously communications have been disrupted at times in difficult circumstances, but we're in contact with all the Australians who are registered, and we are seeking to assist all of those who wish to leave.
I think you said free of charge before, but I'll just clarify, those that are leaving on flights, they don't have to pay for those flights?
Well, the advice I have, and obviously this has been moving pretty fast, is that the travel arrangements will be made for people to get home free of charge.
Yep, so the man, the 77-year-old Australian man who chose to stay in Gaza because his wife was denied entry, she is an Australian visa holder. So are you aware why some are being permitted entry and why others aren't?
Well, I'd refer to my previous answer. We have put to the the Egyptians and others, and some 85 names, which include citizens, permanent residents, visa holders and family members. So we are working to ensure those family groups are able to come out. Obviously, we don't control the border crossing, and you've seen it's taken a broad international effort to get the broad border crossing open. It's taken weeks. I wish that were not so, but I am very pleased that it has finally occurred.